This is my room. Beloved, we are our sisters. Let's start at the beginning. And today, in these times, we need to share gratitude that we even have the opportunity to voice it. So let me, from the bottom of my heart, express my gratitude for yet another opportunity to host you for a Tuesday afternoon of information and enlightenment. Naturally and deliciously flavored by Amsterdam ice cream. Beloved, it is so much on my mind that I even put it aside the housekeeping information and must appeal to you, beloved. I must urgently have to appeal to each and every one of you. If you believe in prayer, please, I'm begging you, pray for Jamaica. Yes, I'm begging you, pray for Jamaica. Because as I speak, Hurricane Melissa is now striking Jamaica. And the urgency, the appeal, the prayers, because, beloved, as Guido said, after the bad come the worst. After the worst, the worser. After the worser, the worser. And after worser, beloved, it is the worser. And I say that in all seriousness. No joking, no jesting. Beloved, it is my understanding that Hurricane Melissa, that is now striking Jamaica, is the worst hurricane ever recorded. Let me repeat that. That Hurricane Melissa that is now striking Jamaica is the worst any meteorologist has ever recorded. There has never, ever been a more powerful hurricane in the history of scientifically recorded hurricanes. So, yes, beloved, please, if you believe in prayers, pray for Jamaica. Now, beloved, I must tell you, even though I believe that most of you are fully aware that as terrible as the news is of Jamaica, we are in the midst of very, very crucially bad experiences with the expectations of even worse to come. Beloved, this Saturday is the first day of November. And I am only underscoring, emphasizing what you already know, which is that the federal government of the United States of America is on shutdown. That's what they call it, a government shutdown. And this government shutdown has some extremely serious repercussions. One of them that is most immediately on our horizon is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, commonly known to us as food stamps, that is expected for the first of the month, which is Saturday. And as of the moment, all appearances are that there will be no food stamps come Saturday. That is a serious repercussion, beloved, that only the terror of this hurricane in Jamaica could supersede. Many, many, many of our people are seriously dependent on this SNAP program, the food stamps. And beloved, our good for not misleaders, who are supposed to be our government, if you understand how they intend to be of assistance, however it is, please, I beg you, call us and explain it so that perhaps we could calm some of the anxiety that is growing across this territory that we call the Virgin Islands of the United States. Beloved, let me revert to housekeeping and as I should remind you that at 3:30 we will, as usual, be having our Crucian history question that is the creation of the lady I refer to as my general, beautiful Aisha, wherein I am instructed to come up with a Crucian history question so that the correct answer could be complemented by a full quart of the favorite flavor of Amsa ice cream from beautiful Aisha. Then there's a matter of we have no guest today, no. But you have asked for it, and we have asked her if she could find the time, and she did. And speaking of the chair of the GESC, that's the Government Insurance Programs, Beverly Joseph, because, well, wish it could have been today, but we expect to have on next week, Tuesday. And so get your questions ready, beloved, because these are serious times and misinformation only adds to the anxiety and the stress that too many people are forced to experience. So we are pleased to be able to announce that we have Beverly Joseph with us next week, next Tuesday. Now, beloved, as you very well know, it is for me to promote Hampshire ice cream. And that is an obligation, a duty that I full-heartedly embrace and accept. And so I am just going to say to you, beloved, that all the stress we bear and we expected more. Make sure you stock up on your Hampshire ice cream. Let me take this guy. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mario.
Thank you for your call and welcome to you.
Yes, thank you. I want to preface a statement today by saying, for the 3 scores or so that I have known you, I never know you to be an alarmist. I can't recall ever seeing you getting very frustrated or upset. And I have not ever heard you beg for anything for yourself, unless it's for a needy cause. So when you would ask for prayer for Jamaica, it comes as no surprise to me. Because So some people would say, well, not so far away from we, but we were studying them far. No, 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 no. We all in this together. A hurricane is a thing like a bullet. You shoot a bullet out of a gun, it could go any place. The hurricane could do what it wants. It got its own mind. And we know that it feeds mostly off of, they don't say warm water, but I don't call it hot water, with the sun that's baking down on the oceans and the rivers and streams and so forth. So, yes, we have and must pray for each other. Now, I have a whole lot of friends from Jamaica.
Let me interrupt. So, your words.
I didn't understand.
Let me interrupt if you would allow quickie.
Yes, please.
It should underscore what you're saying. And that is that just before I came on, I got word. And I want everybody to understand this. That this hurricane he called Melissa is the most powerful hurricane ever recorded. The most powerful hurricane ever recorded by meteorologists. I just want to make sure we grasp that.
Yeah.
That this is no kind of humor attached to this at all. This is as crucially serious as I can get.
Yes.
So I'm sorry, but I needed to interrupt because I just want to emphatically underscore the words that you're using.
Yes. And when I heard you said it a little ago, and you used the word crucial, there's a song that came back to me, crucially crucial. I mean, I always wonder why they don't say that there's a category 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've never heard. So I asked a meteorologist friend of mine, and he says that rather than go to a category 6 or 7 and so forth, they just call them twin Cat 5. I don't know if that's going to make them less severe or what, but that's the way that they do it. But it's no, let me tell you something. I mean, this fella, this girl named Melissa, had a site dead set, and Jamaica dead set, and it wouldn't move.
And again, I realize I interrupted, but I recall last week they would announcing that it was moving slowly and it should hit Jamaica by Sunday.
Right.
Well, look how slowly it has moved. That it is today, Tuesday, that is now threatening to crush Jamaica because I mean, I just don't have the vocabulary to express the anxiety that it gets me when, the scientists themselves said they have never recorded anything so powerful. I said, Lord Harry, the judge, what is to happen to them people in Jamaica?
And Mario, the one thing that is happening, not what happened, it's already happening, is that the millibars is dropping and the hurricane is moving slower.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. Now, some says to me, listen, you got some family in Cuba, some elder relatives, and so how come you're not concerned about Cuba? Of course I am. But with the trajectory and the fact that it's going to hit Jamaica head on, that should take some of the speed out of it, or the or the fourth. I
You
should
would
say.
think, one would think so, yes.
Yeah. So by the time it reaches to Cuba, Bermuda, and the Bahamas, and then it should be really fizzling out. But then again, we never knew. These they got their own mind. They waiting on me and you and Trump to tell them what to do. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I started to say, I have a lot of friends. Houston is full of Jamaicans. Florida, particularly West Palm Beach, is full of Jamaicans. So I have a lot of friends. As I've had back in the day, I worked in the hotels in the 60s with Jamaicans. And when you see big man crying, because they're watching the news, they know where they live, and this thing is they're picking a particular spot in Jamaica. Any quarter, any quadrant, any all, every place could get hit. And you see already people walking the streets in knee high or knee deep water, and the 40 inches ain't come yet.
Yeah.
So you're right to that. I don't know what else we could do more than pray. I really don't know what else we could do. Anyway, I'll continue to listen.
Thank you. You stay strong
Yes,
and
sir.
thanks for your call, yes.
All right.
Yes, beloved. We do have, let me pull my tongue a little bit here. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And
I'm
to you.
listening to the station will give information and enlightenment about a territory where they call the Virgin Islands of the United States of America.
That's what they call it. It's the unincorporated territory of the Virgin Islands of the United States of America. That is us. 84,000 of us.
Sponsored by, well, let me put it this way here. A company that have the inside of their inside out cultivation. Well,
They got a trademark patent for it.
yeah. What will make me, listen to this station more and more ever since from 75. My ancestors tell these people, hey, what's no we want this with our back? Enough is enough. We had 7 punish us. So this one here was acting as if she gonna be so good to us. Look at what happening now. Like I said, anxiety is building. We can't have this force come and this people here don't have a solution to help these people.
Well, that is what is appearing to be. I mean, all I hearing is a set attack, but when I ask questions, we can't get no answer. And I just saying, well, so what will happen Saturday? And up to now, I don't have any information that I could tell my beloved people that, well, A, B, C, or X, Y, Z. As of right now, I don't know. So I beg it, beloved, if y'all know something, come tell us, and we can ease this anxiety, because the stress building up here, man.
They don't get vexed with you when you call them good for nothing.
Yeah.
So you're gonna wait till actually how much days you got? Look at that Wednesday. You got 3 more days to go with.
That's it.
3 more days.
That's it.
And these good for nothing. I did hear something, right?
Yeah.
And I really want. Well, let me put it this way here. They plan to use some kind of funding. I don't know how they'll find these money all the time. When they want to, make themselves look as if they have, an initiative that will really help the people. But that's what I hear. Some kind of funding are used to help us.
Well, I hear that myself, but the way how I hear it is that this is something for some time a week or two from now, or maybe the middle of the month,
Yes,
and
yes.
it's and it is only and it is it's a portion. It ain't like you're gonna get, what you was expecting at the first of the month, you're gonna get it, a week later or the middle of the month or so. Uh, I don't know what to tell my beloved audience. you know,
Listen, Tantan and Kasha, rampant, land can't done. And well, let me tell you, I want Amsterdam ice cream going for over 100 or more years. Internal cultivation.
that's right.
And we got a land here from 1654. Let me put it that way. Okay?
Right.
The land, the same
That's
land, the garden of the Caribbean.
That's right.
Well. Records of production.
And we can't even produce chicken and egg.
Beloved,
Not even chicken and egg. You stay strong, my son. Beloved, as we approach the top of the hour, you're hearing for yourself. Beloved, and this is just a part of it, because the I can't even get the word out, but the strongest hurricane ever is one thing: no food stamp on Saturday is another. Beloved, let us not forget, as we spoke last Tuesday, and it only gets worse since. The Trump administration is seriously building up for some kind of military action against Venezuela. And it is, at least to me, somewhat more frightening, because the Prime Minister, Bisasa of Trinidad, has aligned herself and Trinidad with Trump and the United States. I'm talking about, yes, we need to kill them dead. Beloved, this is what is confronting us here as we try our best to be thankful that we have such a remedy as Amsterdam ice cream. So, all you beloved, stack up. Lick your cream, because Amsterdam ice cream is just so good for your soul. of it. And yes, indeed, this is the time when we will say you need to raise your back and bang your belly because the future, the immediate future, like tomorrow and day after, the next 3 days and so forth, don't look too good at all. Good afternoon.
Yeah, Mr. I tell I'm coming back.
Welcome back, man. Welcome back. We are room for you.
Beloved, you know, these good for nothing, as we don't say.
Good for not
Good for nothing
misleaders.
misleaders. The white man, he don't know he no good already.
Eh,
He treat you like beasts of burden.
that's right.
And these good for nothing continuing the same ignorance. You know, what we do? Second class citizens or something, or second, but I mean, we,
You tell me, but we in their eyes, we definitely in the same class as human beings like them in Washington and something. So we below them. Whether we the second, third, fourth, I don't know, but we definitely in their eyes in the equal. We
I mean,
inferior. We inferior.
how they could talk about education, beloved, right? The
Yeah.
education,
Yeah.
and we know the story now, how we became to be kosher.
Right.
And let me be clear. To be a kosher, you have to be an African descendant, period.
That's right.
All right. And the majority is right here in the Virgin Islands, whether it's St. Thomas, St. Croix, St. John.
That's right.
And these are the same descendants that was being productive for 204 years before we said enough is enough. Okay?
Right.
And now we're able to govern ourselves. And where is the internal cultivation? Where is it? Where, I mean, the land is here, the potential, where?
But that's why I tell you, you got to have the misleaders because they can't lead us. They, they ain't got no sense of no kind of policy, no kind of initiative, nothing. Like I said, I mean, I just come up with this. What I think is the simplest and easiest thing. I just an egg farm, a chicken farm. I mean, how much expertise it need, you know, to just, you know, sell egg.
Beloved, you think they know this here? You know that Kibishi will grow at a certain way. It could be hot, and the land could be dry. The minute it rain and get water, that could be she, egg, whatever she leaves.
Yeah, they boss out.
I mean, do they know these things here? You don't have to be she there right now.
Well, let me put it this way. They're supposed to know these things.
Supposed to.
Right.
They're supposed
to.
You know about to be she there right now? Right now, I could carry them and show them to be she. The same armory, that same Fort Island, what they take up for the building armory.
Right.
All in them same water, because I've been in them cleaning the system.
Yeah.
Okay. The same year that we found in Dungo Collective where I was missing a couple of days, that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
Okay. Could we see that up with them to this day here?
Well,
see that.
Well, there you go.
And
I mean, it take no scientists and things, but that's what I say. This good for nothing misleaders. I can't think of another word. And like I said, this is a matter of respect or disrespect. It is what it is. Y'all are good for nothing. And y'all are misleading us.
They got Shankar, we need to back them down. I like to fight, you know. I like to fight. Especially when I'm frustrated. I like to fight, you know, we could do better. Okay, beloved, we here in the Virgin Islands could do a lot better.
But our history tells us this 84 square miles here is called the Garden of the West Indies. You know, we produce, you know, the equal of Jamaica and Barbados.
Oh my God.
The Muscovado, I mean, Tim Mario saying that. Maybe they don't like to read. But I mean, check it in the history and they tell you the Muscovado that we was producing right there so
Right, yeah.
was equal to Jamaica and Barbados, and they was considered the best.
What is that? General Sultan Kal Bodo, an honorable man.
That's what he said.
He went and make sure that his father ain't gonna starve and that we left for the days that we were punished for.
Right.
Okay? And this the same man was able to move from well estate to estate higher, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was, I mean, it's just like you got a tractor, a plow, anything, you know, and you just hire it out to another farmer. The tractor ain't get no money.
I'm gonna go with this. Yeah, I'm glad you're going there, right? The tractor to there, right?
Yeah.
Is them same vehicle where they find got the government workers driving up and down and burning the gas. I can't be done with it.
It's fine. Good afternoon.
Yeah, Mario.
Welcome back, man. I'm glad for you.
Yeah, I was just listening to you and the brethren there. And, you know, he said something that made me smile, but he knew exactly what he's saying. He is good for nothing mislead us, going to shuffle the foot aside away and make it look like they're doing something just so they could heap more praise and then that is the best sitting legislature and the best governor ever.
Right.
Like I said, I don't know why you had 6 because you to measure them. But I could use slide rule and other things to measure them there because I don't know best
Watch
how.
out, man. You got to stop doing because my grandchildren don't stop doing it. Stop talking about slave rule. Yes, you say, Grandma, we ain't got no slave rule again. The computer we dealing with.
You're right.
But I telling you. So I just pulling you up so they don't have to call you out because they're thinking I living in a cave.
Mario, I got a 9-year-old grandson as my last grandchild.
Yeah.
And he is so good in math
Yeah.
that he always, you know, I'm not around with you, man. Just think so easy.
Yeah.
But he don't want to study history and reading and geography, but he just wants to math.
Yeah.
You see? No, but getting back to the subject, I don't know. And like if the 3 days, within 3 days, the food stamp, the snap, whatever they call it, is going to come to an end. And you know, it's funny how we as humans just criticize other people. Yet, like in everything else, there is fraud and corruption. Even in the food stamp, selling the card, selling the this, selling the whatever. But there are them and those, the needy, that without that, what are they going to eat, Mario?
Thank you.
What are they going to eat? You know? And I don't know about these misleaders. I mean, we know that they are very far from needing a food stamp. Even though some of them may get in the corruption of buying and selling these things.
Man, I tell you, you know, our senators just make more money than the governor of Puerto Rico. Our senators.
Hey, you see, but again, when it's a glorious day and everything looks gloomy and nice, and not gloomy, but looking nice and rosy, when it starts to get gloomy, we don't see who the strong is. Them ones supposed to have so much money and be stronger than us. They're the one falling first because they're not accustomed to this hand-to-mouth lifestyle.
The Safi.
You see?
That's what we call it, the Safi.
Right. But the same way I am warning folks on the mainland, folks that the folks, people in power that can stop this man from doing what he wants to do. One man that's waging retribution on everybody, but they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
And Mario, I mean, just quickly, if you know anything about economics and what's that, you look at the signs of things that's happening. Now, let me use you an example. Selling your liquor down there. If you customer selling 6 cases of liquor a week and you're only selling a half case, wouldn't that make you concerned?
Frightened, and for 6 days, half a case. That's more than concern. That's frightening.
Mario, I used to bring down used vehicles from Houston, where I'm doing fairly well with used cars, bring them into West Palm Beach. And there was a time 4 years ago when I was selling out 3 to 5 vehicles a week. I can't go and sell now for months.
Right.
Everybody watching them and saying how nice it looks, nice classic car, convertible, yeah. When I tell you, give me 4,000, when you want, give me 200.
Yeah.
You see? Tell me that's all you got. Well, I mean, it's a serious matter, serious.
It is.
And, sometimes we ought to take a page from the book of 20 people, big conglomerates, big corporations. I'm talking about the Walgreens and the Lowe's of the world. When you see the clothing stores, they know 1 and 2 stores, across the country, there's 600 stores. The clothing. Where do they close them for? That they don't like money? There ain't no money to make. When you're overhead, it's more than what you're making. I mean, Mario, and I really feel so bad for anybody that calls themselves business people, particularly those big supermarkets in the Virgin Islands. Because I know about them very well with regard to high WAPA bills. And I like to give credit where it is due. If it wasn't for a St. Kitts fella who I learned a lot from at WAPA, guy named Ted Mills, that we came up with a thing between the 2 of us and Olaf Peterson out of St. Croix. He was so deep into metering that we devised how we're going to meter the primary instead of the secondary, and yet and still back then, before they opened the door, they had to find $60,000 to pay WAPA. So they understand how much 200,000 a month. So where the price of our food going to go down, you got to pay that bill first.
I hear you. I say, I hear you.
So then the governor going around like nothing is happening. Okay, he made the one move there where he will use some fun to buttress the food stamp, which is good. I praise him for that, guys. I don't praise people when they do good. But likewise, in a showing enough manner, he posts something on Facebook, congratulating himself for being upgraded to a 33rd degree Mason. 33rd, then why is I must be a 63rd? You know how I've been at 33rd? But what does that have to do with the problems we had? I mean, what are we doing? What is it we're doing? The gentleman or the president just talk about agriculture. They're not going to waste in land. And what the governor to say, we don't like to have our hands dirty. Agriculture is a hobby. You hear the kind of leaders we got, or you ain't hearing that? Mario, I got again.
Take care, man. We talk.
Yeah.
Beloved, these are as serious at times as one could imagine. Like I said, beloved, I don't know that I would have ever in my lifetime hear an announcement that a hurricane is more powerful than has ever been regarded before. I mean, think about it. While at the same time, we are looking at a possibility of no food stamps in 3 days. While at the same time, we are looking at the possibility of military action between Venezuela and Trinidad. All of this at the same time, no, right now. Beloved, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Thank you for your call and welcome.
Seems like we're facing more than just a natural disaster storm. We're facing political storms, another man-made storm, and it is so sad that impending crisis, the food storm, Saturday, and yet so ironic because I don't know if anybody mentioned it. Saturday, November 1st is Liberty Day. That's the day we recognize David Hamilton Jackson. And I haven't heard if any event has been planned. Have you?
Again, I didn't know that we had to look out for, announcements. I thought that that was the reason for the, what's the name of it, the Grove Place Action Committee, that they celebrated it annually. And but again, I feel your point that it seems like it might have gotten lost in all the anxieties that we're trying to manage at the same time here. But you're absolutely right. Saturday is November 1st, David Hamilton Jackson Day.
So maybe they don't have the funds, the Grove Place Action Committee. I don't know. Maybe the federal shutdown has impacted.
Well, let's hope not. Let's hope not.
I hope not.
Let's hope not. But yes, it's and then the other name is the Liberty Day.
Liberty Day, yeah.
Yeah. But no, you're absolutely right. I certainly have not heard anything, and I guess I didn't give it any credibility because, as I always say, I am one of the individuals that usually behind when it comes to current events because I ain't got no phone, I ain't got no TV, no Facebook, none of these things, and so that it's really today, Tuesday afternoon, when I get abreast of a lot of things that have been missing out. And so, again, you made a great point there with, Saturday being November 4th, Grove Place here. And I mean, this year it falls on a Saturday, so that you would think so. But again, I would try to keep hope alive that it is simply because it's an annual event that whoever the prognosticators are behind this, haven't felt it necessary to come out and advertise what is going to be taking place. But you've made a point. I mean, that's just, it's a point that I feel.
Where there's hope, there's life. But I understand this federal shutdown is also going to impact the lunch program. And some children, sometimes that's their only meal for the day. So I don't know. I know as far as getting a check, half of the amount that you would be entitled to, the local government is giving a check to do, but it's just half.
This is my understanding, but help me out if you know different. But I am told that this is supposed to be sometime during the month. This is not something that is going to happen in 3 days' time.
Wow.
I mean, that's the information you have to, that it's sometime during the month, maybe the middle of the month or something like that.
See, this is why we need to have town hall meetings, because everybody.
Well, I mean, let me stop you here right there. We're not going to have town hall meetings because we don't have accountability. We don't have the districts. Who is going to hold a town hall meeting? Because our 7 district senators, they would have to come together to call a town hall meeting, and then, okay, here is a town hall meeting, people come and so forth now, and they complain about this, that, or the other. Which one of the 7 will be accountable for what?
But I believe if Chucky Hansen was here, the legendary Chucky Hansen was here with us, she would have done call a town hall meeting to address this.
But then she took responsibility for things. She took responsibility, and I put John Bell, the former senator, in that category too. Although I'm not going to take any credit at all for the legendary Chucky Hansen, and I see the point that you're making. But the fact is that is the reason why the Constitution has like that. No more than 1 representative per district. That's where the accountability comes in, and that's where you'll have to.
That's going to happen because we get in a trick, not a treat. It's trick or treat on October 31st, Halloween, and the 6th Constitutional Convention. I understand will be announcing they don't have a draft to submit, and that's their line. They have requested an extension of time and money. So, as a next thing, I'm not hearing from the legislature. It's only, a few days, today is Tuesday. The deadline would have been October 31st. I haven't heard not one word from the legislature. And so I feel, well, we're not going to get a treat. I thought this would be it. This would be the convention that gets the job done efficiently and all the deadlines are followed.
Well, don't pronounce it that yet. Whereas we have little hope for Hurricane Melissa, little hope for the food stamps coming by Saturday, little hope for the not being military action now in Trinidad and Venezuela, uh, I think that there is still hope as far as the convention goes because all it takes is for the head was not Usi Richards.
Yes.
I mean, we could submit the draft from the fifth one just again to meet the deadline. So that's in other words, it is not a task at the level of the anxieties that we've been talking about here that we're experiencing this week. Uh, Again, if it is a matter of meeting the deadline, you don't have to do anything much more than that. Just submit that and
So I just
by
here at the
by
back
themselves.
burner, boom, turn that in. I don't think that will take a whole month to do.
That's
what
right,
they-
and it buy them the
Right here at the
time.
back burner.
It would buy them the time to again see what they're gonna do as delegates for six. But all I'm saying is that in terms of the deadline, that is not a crisis of the magnitude of these things we've been talking about. Even Liberty Day being Saturday the first, because again for this, all the uh, former Senator Uzi Richards has to do is submit the old draft, just to meet the
I
deadline,
mean,
buy
that makes
themselves
a lot of
time,
sense. That's practical.
and buy themselves time.
I want to wrap up because I know time is of the endless. I would like to hear your thoughts on a federal bailout of WAPA. Thanks. I'll be listening to your comments on that matter.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. My lap is not that extensive. I'm one of the people they call a very maga person. You know. Good afternoon to you.
Thanks. I'll be listening to your
Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon.
Angel,
Super Dad, what we gonna do with that, man? Because you in charge.
for I hear that a guy named Mario the Fallen Angel Moed Bridge.
Beloved, you already. You hear how he like to make now? Because he in charge, you see? West End belong to he, so he can know you hard for you. All right, man. Super Dad.
We have a parade around 12:30.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, we pro action committee behind and level show. So,
Well, there you go. Well,
but
what
yeah, we got action.
yeah.
And I was begging vendors to come out and thing, but when the election thing or whatever,
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I didn't want to go there, but I was just trying to point out to her that, hey, that is not a major crisis,
Right. Yeah, but they were calling out here, they got children bouncy and all kind of
Right.
so things were happening, I think that then people might get some half of the thing or by this before the around the 15th.
Right.
They said we got through this rigmarole. The man said, no, he's trying to buy all the senator. The senator bring it up, and he don't get to buy it up.
Right.
He even invite the president and the prefect got yesterday.
Yeah, we call it the presser.
And he said, how things work when they work together. When he said telling a senator about culture like, oh, God's a fish.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I got to send out some condolences to the Milligan and Eddie family.
All right.
The passing of my sister Marcia.
Okay. Again, we send out our deepest condolences for Marsha. No, we spoke about it and well, again, but alas is alas, and
Right.
you have to respect that. Because That is the one door. That is the one door we can't avoid.
Right.
The way one.
I hear about next family I might but make sure about it.
Well, whole train.
Yeah, so I'm waiting to make sure before I send it.
Yeah. That's why you're super dad, man, because you're responsible like that, you know.
Yeah, my don't look into like rebuild one because when it got construction again here.
But I think I see you can put some serious money going in there, man.
Right? And I see them they looking at start to work on Padilla building now.
Oh yeah? What? So, man.
We got a whole tree, we got the Padilla building, and we got the sports shop, we got class.
Well, man, I would say that at the street there,
Boy, you're so smart, baby.
yeah.
Think about it, the BLM, man. We got to fix up my black force,
You know, so that, when I said so, he said to himself, what the you know, he didn't want to charge you, know. He said, they got to fix his black force.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I'm trying to work on move over a little bit by the Tadman building because
oh Lord.
the parade is,
But
people like to sit down there.
I think they need to do like what they do with Shada Apothecary and take that thing down because I mean that's dangerous. I mean all it needs a strong breeze, you know.
But the thing is, right? The fire department ain't doing the work. It might be that ambulance that don't come down.
Yeah, man. Well, they definitely need to come down.
And you can't get parade and the people that don't sit down, people still sit down there.
But so what I check this out, and this is what I noticed for this weekend. You know, they don't start building the stand for the governor. So what was so called when they review the parade?
Yeah, the reviewing stuff.
The review stand, they don't start building it, you know.
But that cut you off. They didn't start to do the bridge.
We'll do our bridge, right?
Well, that's the first thing they said. That's what they were working on first.
All right. Well, I'm telling you what they're working at.
Yeah, but I want to know why they don't do that. And so, and they're going to give them lumber again.
All right.
Why they hold on? They're supposed to got type of stand.
Like you said, supposed to.
Yeah, they rent them out to other people.
Right.
Yeah,
I didn't know what going on, but I was surprised when I said, what?
Yeah.
Things have Halloween yet,
Right.
and are you building reviewing stand?
But that's what I'm saying.
Right.
And your new friend was saying, is that trick or a treat? So,
that's what we can have to call here. Here, right for you, son. You run the talk, my son. You go on, man. You got lyrics that people have to pay for.
Yeah, won't say it, man.
Good things, stay sharp. And beloved, what else to tell you? What else to tell you? Good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Thanks. So, you've heard about that there was a revolt, a government overthrow in Madagascar.
Yes, that was a week ago now.
Right.
I read, yes, yes, I'm behind usually at things, but Lord Harry, the judge, that didn't happen yesterday. That's about a week or so ago, because I think, my son sent me this thing that France had flown the PM out of Madagascar. She was flying into Paris or something like that.
And then also before that was overthrow in Cameroon.
In Cameroon, yes. That's where my daughter went to school.
Right. And both of them were led
But
by...
he needs to go for the, this is the man, again, I mean, all he is that puppet for France, and he's been there what 30 years
Yeah.
or something. I mean, Bia, that's the name I was trying to call for. Bia, that's his name,
And
and I
most of them
mean,
were led by young people
yeah,
in those places.
yeah,
And which is not uncommon. The civil rights, the young people played
you
a
know.
large role in that.
But if I might
And
say so, and matter of fact, I'd like to hear your reaction, so let me say so. But it seems to me, you know, that what they call it a ripple effect or just repercussions of however what they want to label it. But Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso, it seems to me, you know, that he's causing uh, well a different outlook in a lot of people because what's today's Tuesday? I think it was either Friday or Saturday I was reading this. Uh, Prime Minister Nandi in Namibia. I mean, she had this speech and it's like, whoa! And she was praising Traore so much. And this is you know, it's a new way of Africans awakening. And this is, you know, this is not out of fear, but it is out of, you know, just the awakening of the ignorance that we allow to overcome us. And I'm like, Dandy, where you been? You know, she's these niggas are whoa, you know, but she's giving all of this credit to Ibrahim Traore for Sadat. I can't recall what is trying to bring the paper back to my mind here. See, like I said, I don't recall, but she gave it a name. There's something movement that she's attributing to Traore. And again, hey, all I can say is I hope this thing is for real. And what they're talking about is like what I talk about, yeah, like inside out cultivation instead of allowing the West to come here and take what they want, process it, and they come back and sell it to us for 1,000% more. You know, we are going to do our own processing. It's inside out cultivation in Africa now. And I says, hallelujah, it's about time.
well, in all these things, young people took a lead role. As I said, the civil rights. They also, what was that? The Libyan overthrow. And young people were, they did, what did they call that? The something spring? I can't
Arab
remember.
Spring,
Pardon me?
Arab Spring.
All right. And so that's been, another thing. And it makes sense because young people have less to lose, so they will be more willing, and they also have more time and energy.
Uh,
They tend to be a large part of of changes, revolutions.
uh,
But you see, though, with the Black Lives Matter, that started out that way, but it didn't, kind of fizzled out. It didn't really create any sort of meaningful change.
no, and from what I've read, I mean, after the fact, but I still the read of stuff that there was some conspicuous corruption at the top that was not publicized, but there was some grifting going on there with the monies.
Well, and when it was happening to her, I told a young person that I didn't see it really ended up. The things that were in place during the civil rights movement, which they were kind of patenting a lot of it all over, were not really there in the Black Lives Matter movement. And I told them earlier on that I don't think it was going to, really make any major serious changes. And in fact, that person got mad at me and stopped talking to me because it was
not what they wanted to hear. But looking at it, looking at the Madagascar and Cameroon thing, and the fact that Black Lives Matter did it led me to do some research on these areas. And what I found was in Madagascar and in Cameroon and also Libya, marijuana is illegal. While in the United States, Black Lives Matter have started in 2013. At that time, only 2 states had marijuana legal: Oregon and Colorado. California and Washington State had it. They started Washington State 2014, California 2016, and then after that, state after state, where they're up to maybe 23. It might even be more than that. It might be like 25 states. And I don't think that's coincidental. And in fact, actually might have been intentional that they legalize weed from state to state, basically to quell the young people. We all know that a lot of times people smoke weed and things that bother them don't bother them anymore. In fact, that's why a lot of people smoke weed, to relax. And I am guessing they may have caught on to that. And remember I told you sometime before that it's got to be years now that, might be a year or two, that Governor Brian basically exchanged, did a Bordeaux on us. He exchanged the gunpowder with sand.
Yeah.
The first bill, 16 days, I think, after he got into office, the first bill he signed was a medical marijuana bill, which then eventually came to, a relaxation on marijuana use and arrest. And I believe that was done to quiet our people, to not make them react to the things that he was going to do.
Well, I have noticed, maybe I could have put it a little farther back, but for a while, I had been noticing that there's some kind of relationship that I don't quite understand. Maybe I haven't put in enough time to try to understand it, analyze it, but between Government House and I guess whoever's heading up this cannabis council or whatever it is, because just within the past month or so, they had an affair at the agriculture fairgrounds for what was it? It was Emperor Sebastian Day, the 23rd of August. But I'm just saying that again, to buttress some of what you might be saying, there seems to be some kind of relationship that isn't fully understood by me. Let me put it on myself. Between Government House, Albert Bryan Jr. and the cannabis, is it called the council? The cooperative? What is the terminology there? But there's some kind of relationship going on there.
Yeah, and as I said, I don't think it's coincidental. I think the governments have realized that when young people are using marijuana, that they become relaxed and they don't become activists anymore. They're not going to be out in the streets complaining. And as I said, if you look at what happened with Black Lives Matter, that is definitely what occurred. coincidence. And we know this. We know people smoke marijuana to relax, to forget about their troubles. I think I told you before, Cat Williams, famous comedian, has a skit about that. And he's known to smoke a lot of marijuana. And he's like, the skit is that he was up his electric bill, ironically, electric bill, and he's complaining about, the electric bill, what are you going to do to pay for it? And this is the case where, the electric bill is so much more. And then he said he smokes a joint, and then he's like, F the electric bill, And so even among, marijuana users, this is a known thing. It makes you relax and forget about your problems.
Okay.
And my guess is the government was listening
Okay.
and know that this is what was going to take place. Black Lives Matter, you only had 2 states that had legal weed. And, after that, Black Lives Matter happened in 2013. After that, 14, Washington State legalized it. 2016, California legalized it. And the Black Lives Matter rallies started to disappear. And now we're up to 20-something. And I guess, Trump figures he can do whatever he wants because people are not prone to really react. You're not going to have an Arab Spring. You're not going to have what happened in Madagascar or in Cameroon because people are not going to get that worked up. You're going to get worked up, but they just go home and smoke a joint, and they ain't worrying about that anymore.
Okay, well, that's a theory.
So, as I said, they're pulling up on us. They're replacing our gunpowder or fire that's in people's bellies. They're replacing that with sand.
All right. As they were saying, whatever works. But I'm still, I would say this. I am still very concerned about
taking us passive and allowing them to do whatever they feel like doing.
all right.
And we just, grumble a bit, but we're not going to get really worked up. So
All
they
right.
gave us something to deal with that.
All right. Well,
All right.
we will consider that theory.
Just keep your eyes open.
We
What
do.
happens.
We do. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
No problem.
Good afternoon.
You know what?
Adele.
I'm back again, my son.
Well, I still there.
I hear I talking about Bono Doctor.
Yeah, that was a call I had.
Remember this book that was about the curriculum, some book you had read that they brought out to teach the
Civics.
students about
Civics.
history. 700 and something pages.
Civics.
Civics,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. You know it.
Yeah.
You know the book for not listening, okay? So, and let them know I have win this our Boston Island history question. They brought us here in 1644. 3 years later, a war, we got away. So we was here in St. Croix for over 100 years before anybody noticed that there was escapees. So that's a generation, probably and a half. That same generation saved our rainforests in the west. When the French them tried to burn the place down, I also wonder why. When they got this thing called miasma, they got it, well, if they burn it down, they're going to open up the place to get them here or whatever. They only make it worse.
Right.
are the same people that call the Maroons.
Right.
How did they survive? Ain't by using the land?
Of course.
All right. Okay? Uh, beloved, I don't feel supposed to be a cool shot, right?
Uh,
To know that, well, we are rare, we put this way, a rare breed of people, very nice, but we have a lot of, charisma. I use the word. You know, we know how to survive, and the land provides it. You know, it's so good to know that again, the good for nothing only wanted to teach us from what 1917, the civic book.
basically, yes, that's it. That's it. Yeah, from
But then,
1970.
but then
It's
when you
really,
don't-
it's really. I mean, to just answer to your questioning, uh, it is a civics book for teachers to teach civics.
oh, okay.
It's like, all right, it's 600 or some pages. I read the book and it says it has less than 75 pages out of those 600 pages there about the Virgin Islands. And, and basically what that is about is the revised Organic Act.
Wow.
That's about it. And then they got photographs in it. Like, they got Sonny Barnes picture in there. They ask me what's Sonny Barnes in it. Doesn't get the picture. What the picture there?
You know, the children that will be shocked to know, right? That we were purchased by one and a treaty by the other one. So five of the rest of the European nation conquer us. You know, these are things we need to know. You know, and how we survive is another. You know, hey, listen, we don't get trade, you know, below. We don't get trade. As long as we be consistent like you for 1975, what?
Well, that's something they said very well on the radio, but I've been active before that. Like by 1975, we had some success because we had done get July 3rd to become a legal holiday.
You know what it was in 1972 when your brother had
Yeah, something what they call it. UCA itself started in 1969. You know.
Oh, okay, yeah.
All right.
But,
All right. I'm gonna take this. Let me take this call. You know. So I could take me top of the road. All right.
I
Cool.
have it fun.
Come back, man. Come back.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Number 4.
Hello. Hello.
Good afternoon, Mario.
Good afternoon. How are you doing, Sir Williams?
Yes, I'm feeling good, Mario.
That sounds good to me. Real good. You know.
So I want to join it, Mario.
Yeah.
I want to know. You were talking about the cut off the food stamp.
Right. And it's 3 days away. It's 3 days away. And we was appealing to all our beloved audience. If you know something, please call us and update us, let us know, because the best that we know is that, you know, the federal government is shut down. And as a result, it would be no SNAP, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, that we just call it food stamp, for Saturday, November 1st. And that the local government is saying that they hope to be able to send out checks that would be the equal of half the amount you usually get, but that won't be for Saturday. It will sometime in the month. And I don't know anything more precise to tell you. And so that I begin for anybody who know more, have some factual information to share, let us share it, because stress building up, because people beginning to realize as the 3 days come down to 2, then come to 1, is that there actually is not going to be any food stamps this Saturday.
Well, Mario, I know as much as you know. But what I want to chime in about, I want to know if they realize that seniors and veterans is going to do damage to a lot of us, Mario.
Well,
I
again,
don't know.
no, and I'm responding to you, Mr. Williams. You're absolutely right, because right now, what is on everybody's lips is the food stamps. But because the federal government is shut down, there's a lot of ripples, a lot of repercussions, a lot of other programs that people depend on that are not going to be available. And nobody knows when the shutdown is going to end.
Because, Mario, isn't it a fact that most of the people that receive in SNAP work in Mario?
Yes, yes.
I don't think a lot of people realize that, because I don't hear people saying that people in some food stamps is sitting back and just collecting or whatever. Mario, that's not true.
Well,
Because if you really look at the fact,
yeah.
most of the people are working, so they need it to help maintain just for nutrition. I mean,
Well,
just to eat.
that's what the name of the thing is: Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program.
Yeah. But for some reason, people think it's people just sitting back and collecting. No, Mario.
Yeah.
It's going to do very damage to, especially like myself and like you, senior Mario,
Yeah.
because they're going to cut the wheels and meals and all of that.
Yeah.
That the seniors and people with disabilities rely on.
Right. Yes.
So it's going to be a triple effect
Yes.
down the line.
Yes. Yes.
And Mario, one thing I always tell people, stress kills.
Oh
We're
yeah.
going to have to figure out how not to sweat so much, Mario.
Well, we better hurry up, because Mr. Williams, hypertension, like diabetes, is one of the leading diseases that we suffer from right here in this little place. So stress, is a killer for we.
Yes, and it's like, it's tied in the line, Mario.
Yeah.
I said, and you and many other people said, you must go down one road. But I'm going to try to dive on that, Mario. I'm going to try to do as best as I could do. So that's why I look on and I will listen, Mario.
Yeah.
But when people speak sometimes, they speak out of frustration and anger.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to learn to take a deep breath and blow out and then continue, Mario, because I know stress kills.
That's why they say
I
bite
want people
and
to
blow.
understand.
Bite and blow.
bite and blow like hours and Mario.
Yeah.
But people got to realize it's going to be a ripple effect. That's why I agree. It has to be inside out conversation, Mario.
Yeah.
There's so much land. You can't wait and take couple days to try to relieve stress off of people. It
No.
has to be planned months ahead because
You're right.
we knew it was coming, Mario.
You're right. Yes.
Because when a hurricane coming, we prepared.
Yeah.
But you should have done prepared for the people.
Yeah.
Because it's going to affect even the people that have to go to the store.
Yeah.
It's going to affect them. And a little small kind of store is going to affect you. So you have to plan
Absolutely.
for your people then,
Yeah.
Mario.
Yeah.
And I agree with the senators, what you were saying, good for nothing. It's because they're not accountable, Mario.
Right.
You can't hold none of it.
Right.
So we have to go inside out cultivation. That's my little piece for today, Mario.
That's a big
Please,
piece.
my
That's a
people.
big piece. And we thank you for it, Mr. Williams. That's a big piece.
Yes, stop stressing. I just want my people to don't stress so much. Mario, you know what we got to do? We got to go back to the old one. We got to share with each other. You got bread, you got cheese, whatever you got, share with each other. That's all we need to come together.
Well
in this
said.
difficult time.
Well said, Mr. Williams. Well said.
Okay.
And we thank you for it. You stay strong now. We need you.
All right.
All right. Yeah. Beloved, bite and blow. Hold straight. In the meantime, lick your cream. Because Hampshire ice cream is just so good for your soul. That beloved. And yes, indeed, we're still sending out the call. If you have information, please give us a call. Share with us because, as Mr. Williams pointed out, stress is killing a lot of our people. Hypertension, like diabetes, is one of the major diseases that we struggle with here. And so anything that we could do to ease that stress is welcome, beloved. And this is why I said to you, if you're in a position to be able to store up, stack up some Amsterdam ice cream in your freezer, beloved, might seem like a simple little thing. Not much. But let me tell you, it is a very effective remedy for stress. When you lick some Hampshire ice cream, if you get your favorite flavor, beloved, it's a good thing to have. And that's why I urge you to stack up if you're able to do that. Because in all of us even have a freezer, much less the resources to buy extra Amsterdam ice cream. But if you are able to, beloved, do it. Good afternoon.
Yeah. Just a quick note.
I there for you, man.
Where are you hear or see a Borat? And I can tell you that. I just want to hear from you. When
No, well, again, I couldn't tell you when last, but if this was 50 years ago, I could tell you, we're going to find some now, because one of the biggest, incidents in my young life was when I was in Lagrange with Mr. Thomas Mulcair,
that's
Genix, and his brother Edwin, that used to play the bass. Edwin passed now.
Yeah.
And we was there, and we were students because we used to make spear gun.
Right.
And we should just the Burhang with the spear gun.
Normal African descendants.
Well, we had one corner, all right?
Yeah.
And well, like a carnal animal would do, beloved, you never know where he's gonna know what he's gonna do anything that he think is crazy. And he jump up. And the mule rear up.
Yeah.
Edwin fall between the cat and the mule.
Oh God.
What they call it, bossy shoulder. I said, only thing good about that was that we was able to spear the hand.
Okay.
So that what they call it, Miss Moya, they were able to do it up in the oven in the yard,
Okay, yeah.
But that was a serious thing, Mr. America. I mean, it was we thought they are dead. Telling the truth, we thought they are dead. How we get mashed up between the mule and the cat,
Yeah.
But I just to answer you, it's like back in them days, man, I got the Burhang easy, but nowadays, no, I can't tell you which part
Okay.
to find a Burhang. Why couldn't tell you the last time I saw one even?
Yeah. The last time I see one, this is 1992. Beloved, believe me.
Okay.
I can't name the area, right? This when you're going all the way back to, you're going down to head to Kikidam, but before Kikidam, you get like on the flat and there's this big kidney mango tree.
Yeah.
Like a flat land.
Yeah.
So I custom to go there from, childhood as my father because he used to go,
Yeah, they had another kidney mango tree and cocoa.
Yeah.
A lot of cocoa grow there too, the same area.
And he, the bulldozer out there in La Westland, so he go to fix them here and have, that's the nobody.
Yeah.
But this is me alone now, 1992. So I step out. I just, the mango tree loaded. These are some big kidney, this is big one, and they can probably get different name than, the kidney.
Yeah.
So I step out. And when I step out, I make 2 steps, and I see this big toss thing. I said, well, my God. Watch me. He went, he went.
Yeah.
But, I was still got my eyes out, because I want these mango here.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1992.
Well, you want to meet up with a Boran Robinson?
No, sir. You will wonder how you come here, but I'm going to tell you something, right? This is just a little laughter.
Yeah.
The black man will know how to climb the tree. I don't know the white man to do it. I can't be with it.
Okay. Well, yeah, beloved Boran. But, beloved, all up until the early 60s, LaGrange was country, it's amazing. I mean, how, if anything now, LaGrange is like a suburb or something now, but up until the 1950s, not to talk about the 1940s, LaGrange was country, this was when anytime you go over Pan Bridge, that was a dump. Oh, no bad feeling. That was a dump. And then once you pass the dump, you keep going. You got into LaGrange. Once you pass the factory, you're in the country. It's the countryside, man. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Yes, welcome. Thanks for your call.
Yeah, Mario, my phone went dead on me, so I don't know where in the collaboration you are, but I have heard a caller ask you what was your thinking or idea and asking for federal bailout for WAPA. Were you able to answer it?
No, I was not able to. My mind went at you, and I that's what precisely what you're answering. I said, I hope, that you were listening and you heard, and that you would respond to it because I am not mechanically inclined. So now feel welcome.
Yeah. Well, I was driving at the time and listening, and then my phone went dead. So I had to get home to put it on charge, and I did. With regards to that question, any reasonable mind would ask, how much more should the federal government bail out an entity that is supposed to be self-sustaining? So much more so that the said agency that calls itself WAPA is not following consultant directives that they have continually paid millions upon millions of dollars for. So which federal government now, certainly not the one that's in power. Biden didn't do it. Trump certainly he will not. If anything he would do, he would put a conglomerate of his billionaire friends who need to maybe launder money or wash their money or get greater tax breaks. He would put it in their hands. And if we think the prices are high now, we'll soon find out. Private enterprise has a profit margin. Government and agencies of government not supposed to. Not meaning that they're not supposed to have money at the end of a term, like Charles Turnbull and my good friend Ken Knapp had it. But then that money is supposed to go back into the operation of the governmental agency. Now, from way back in the day, and as I mentioned before, I'm going too deep into any details, I had worked for WAPA from 1967 to 1976. I left and I was called back in 89 after Hurricane Hugo, and then in 05 after Maryland. They then called me back because they didn't like me. They called me back because they know of my ability. Back then, we were in good standing in that workers of WAPA, the very God, and we had them from all about Potoka, Antigua, Anguilla, Puerto Rico, St. Croix, St. Thomas, St. John. And we had workers that the authority knows their work and they would give them a voice or listen to them. Today you have some guys that old heads and so swollen. They can't get a t-shirt on. And they're quick to tell you what college they went to and what degrees they have. And I quit to retort by telling them, put your degree up against them and wire it and see if it wasn't funny. And you go up there if you know what it is you do that.
Right.
You know, the thing is this, my rate is sad because not that the federal government is not all for, particularly because people like myself and Raymond George and his brother Roland that used to run the class back in the day, asked them for help in the midst of a floating power plant. Yes, they have them. And the authorities of those in power decided it was not necessary. It happened again recently with Oakland Vector not being in the Senate, not even being in government, but he knows the people to talk to. And he was offered the same floating bag which they have in other Caribbean islands, where the electricity will be 5 cents per kilowatt hour. But the Albert Bryant, the motors, and the cars nights of the world, they don't have that will contain our thing. We had it. So they would have weak suffer. St. John was out of power for a whole day. And sometimes I was late last night, I didn't know that. And some white attorney from Chicago called me. And she said, why don't you stop us at the doctor who let them Dr. Albert and say what someone said, you already said, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh my Christ. Anyway, if the belief of we in the Virgin Islands that the Fed don't know what is going on with the squanderation and the corruption, Again, I don't know.
Well, but I ask you, how did privatizing work in Puerto Rico?
Privatizing in Puerto Rico, I don't have the full on it, but privatizing should, and let me say should work better because if you have an electrical engineering company that's going to take over tasks like that coming from the private sector, of course they want to prove their worth. And I give ERCOT in Houston as an example. ERCOT is a big supervising entity that supervises power companies throughout the Lone Star, very large state of Texas, where they have cells and houses. Not sitting down with the houses every day of the week and twice on Sunday. You see? But seemingly, what it's going to take and what the people don't want to do is to get up and throw margin government out. If and what in the legislature, we don't have power, I should not plug them out. Yes, I said. We don't have power fast and we are not. But they continue to not do nothing. I continue to get the blame. I and Brother Aaron and Grant, as we are mad because we ain't working Wapa no more. I did not make any money in Wapa. I did not make no money in the government of the Virgin Islands. The most money I made in working for the government of the Virgin Islands was when I was chief of staff to Congressman Victor Fraser. $125,000 a year. Just I might make $500,000 a year. Why the line in and Senate line in you? But it are, and we like it so.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what else to say.
Well, I appreciate the effort. I appreciate the effort. And I want to know because basically, from the little that I have read, and like I said, I'm not mechanically inclined and for I don't often, put my effort into analyzing what is this about the power generation. But I know that from the little that I've read, at least from the Washington's perspective, the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico are pretty much in the same boat. And so that, again, who knows? They might come up with a control board for the Virgin Islands, even, but we just too smart.
Control board is coming, Mario. It's coming because of people like myself and others pushing for it. And yet, look why you people to the world nonsense.
All right.
I want better for the people. You see?
Well,
But let me go by saying this, Mario. You look at, let me just go back to Texas quickly. When the power companies in Texas, 3 years ago, I think it was, when the system, the grid was up because the power companies did not weatherize them. And weatherization is a thing that you does to switches and substations in heavy snowstorms. They didn't do it. And what was ERCOT's recommendation? Fire. Put on banana. Fire out of it.
hey, all right. Appreciate you. Appreciate it. Thank you. We'll talk some more. Alrighty.
Yes.
All right. Beloved, lick your cream. Because Absor ice cream is just so good for your soul. We're back, beloved, and well, in my 50 years of being a radio talk show host, I have had few days more anxious than today. And it's because, well, as a host, I feel obliged, responsible really, for being able to share enlightening information. And that's the problem right there. With all that's going on, from hurricane, the federal government shut down, to possible military action in Venezuela, Trinidad, and whatnot. Beloved, I just feel somewhat responsible, obliged, you say, to be able to share some mediating, enlightening information that would, help us to keep hope alive. But no such thing, beloved. No such thing. And this is why, like, from when I first came on, I said, if you believe in prayer and the power of prayer, I ask that you pray for Jamaica. But as terrible as that is, because that is what's a rara. Never had a hurricane with that kind of intensity, that kind of force, and moving that slowly, so that, like I said to my boss a little while ago, it might be tomorrow before Melissa even leaves Jamaica, because of how slowly it's moving. And Lord Harry, the judge, just can't even begin to imagine the kind of destruction that would be left behind. And then we come back to our situation here. It's like, beloved, 3 days. That's not a lot of time. 3 days. And so, how do I help my beloved audience to keep hope alive? Because I don't have TV. I am not up on whatever is going on in the social media and Facebook and TikTok and this and that. I don't know anything about that. And so I am stuck with, well, I guess you call it snail mail kind of thing. And what is available to me makes me more anxious, at the point of being frightening, because it's almost a certainty that the government is not going to reopen in the next 3 days. I mean, it seems like the Republicans and the Democrats having some serious negotiations and working on a solution or a temporary solution even, or a compromise resolution is which is you usually do to come up with a compromise resolution. Uh, None of that is available. And so I am faced with the hard reality that this government shutdown could even possibly last through the month of November. And then when you entertain that in your mind, that you could have a government shutdown that would be lasting 2 months because, beloved, it started at the beginning of October and we now down to the end of October. So it's, it's a month-long shutdown. And it would appear that it could extend into another month because, beloved, it's from what I read, and that's why I keep asking you know something different, please call in and help us out, bring me up to date. But what seems to be happening here, beloved, is that the Democrats are saying that the budget that Trump called the big beautiful bill, he is saying, the Democrats are saying that that budget is causing the Affordable Care Act to, well, have the premiums skyrocket because it cuts out the subsidies. And basically, in a matter of weeks, a whole lot of people across America, that includes us, are not going to be able to afford insurance because the premiums are going to, in many cases, double, in too many cases, triple, and in way too many cases, quadruple. This is what I've been reading. And so I'm telling you, so you know different, beloved, help us out there. But it's a very stressful times. And as Mr. Williams pointed out, beloved, the disabled, we have a disability rights organization here at St. Burley at the office of by whether it was at Sunshine Mall or well, they're just to the west of Sunshine Mall. But again, Meals and Wheels and all these things that are federally funded, beloved, like I tell you, it's serious times, and I don't have information to mitigate the anxiety that ain't going to do anything other than get more severe. And as we point out in the conversation, Mr. Williams, beloved, hypertension, pressure is too widespread amongst us here in the Virgin Islands, so that we are already vulnerable to stress, meaning we can't take no more stress. And guess what? More stress coming our way, more stress coming our way. La Heritage Church. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Baba. How are you today?
I can tell you, but they are very anxious, and I wish I had some mitigated information that I could share, which is to keep hope alive, and I don't. So it makes
I
me
know,
feel
I
make me
agree.
feel even worse. Like what I doing here as a talk show host when I can't share information that would be helpful. So I am pleaded with y'all, if you know something, call and share with us, because these are some serious times here. It's very serious.
Yeah, well, just like you said, yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's a serious time because these are things that was already foretold, right? And this ain't got nothing to do with no Christianity, no Bible, no religion. It's just fact.
Yeah.
And they would call people like us conspiracy theorists, and they were crazy. But what I'm noticing and I'm seeing is that we are really going to have we were going to have a civil war. It has always been told. I've seen movies years ago about it, because we like to be entertained. So as long as they could keep entertaining us and we thinking like, oh wow, that they look good, man. All the time, that's what they're planning. You see what I'm saying? So
I hear you.
I just think that we have those things to see, to vision, because it's just how you say it, like it's very symbolic. It's like it shows us what to get prepared for. But we so caught up in the American way of life, we're not studying it no more. Like we're not studying what's the real true fact. Because like we said, what's going on in Venezuela, that's nothing new. That's nothing new what America has been doing for centuries. You know what I mean? So I did some reading on Venezuela. I know a little bit about, like I said, I'm teaching myself, and I love the journey.
Yeah.
Venezuela is the #1 oil reserve in the world.
Yes, sir, that's what I'm told, that that's the most reserves in the world.
Yeah, they're #1.
But they
They're
have not been
#1.
able to take advantage of it because, for the most part, America has been, not very helpful to Venezuela. Let's put it that way.
No, they haven't. And they're breaking the treaty, the peace treaty they had with those people. That's why I'm surprised that Trinidad and Tobago has joined them, to where all other Caribbean islands is telling the Prime Minister for Trinidad and Tobago, like, what are you doing? This is something that was done, written out already.
Yeah. She sounded, I mean, from what I've been reading, she sounded more and more like Trump.
Exactly. And she's trying to say, oh, well, I'm not doing that and this and that. But yes, she is.
Yeah.
I guess she don't know the history of what took place. And come to find out, Venezuela is what helped Trinidad and Tobago fight against somebody. I think it's called Shama. I said a word. I forgot it, but I should have had my information prepared for you, but I didn't, because I was surprised to hear you guys on the radio. I was looking for you guys on Facebook, but I didn't see it, so I wasn't prepared. But I just wanted to tell you, I don't even know what to say, because I could feel it in your soul. I could feel your spirit. But don't give up, Papa. Something has to give a little bit. But believe me, it's gonna take an army. It's gonna take an army to really stand up against these people. Because just the other day, this the governor just not congratulations for his third degree in the basin. So it's all on his website. So you have to pay attention to these things, you know what I mean, and why the island is how it is. I don't understand why we don't have food banks. We have a bunch of churches, and I feel like Plaza Extra and all of them, they need to give back. Patricia James was speaking that on her live, saying that the stores them need to give back. They need to set up food banks to give back. Because what Brian is doing is trying to give the people there in the Virgin Islands a little help. So he said, I don't trust him. What he's doing is he wants to make sure that the Arabs still make some kind of money, because if anything, they're going to be hit the most. So that, how I'm looking at it, you just do that to help them, not to help us.
I hear you.
Okay? So we just have to hold on, Baba. That's all I wanted to say, and you stay strong, okay?
Thank you, my dear. Thank you, because yes, every little bit helps, and thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Mario.
Hey, welcome back, man.
Yeah. I'm a person like to give credit where it is due. And gone are the days of the Hector Rodriguez. This is how the thing correct. Wapa. Hector Rodriguez, the Peña, Mr. Peña and his two sons, Sexto Pinheiro, Olaf Peterson, and others. Okay, that had Wapa really in their hearts. And of course, at St. Thomas, you had Rogelio Hatchet, who got born on the line, a leatherneck Marine. I never know as tough as he was in the Marines that he would come back home and face this kind of death. But we never know what will happen. And others. We even had a Jose Sabino, a master civil engineer. We had others, like I mentioned before, the George brothers, both with baccalaureate degrees in electrical engineering. And with all of that we had back in the day, and struggled to bring and keep Wapa to where it was. I mean, where it has come to, but now to see with the low salary, because none of us in those positions made nowhere near $100,000. At Wapa, I believe my highest salary was $62,000. The executive director at the time, and yes, I must mention, and even by extension, the Justin Moorhead as Public Works Administrator, the Alex Moorhead that once was the executive director at WAPA. What money did we and us make? So what is being made today? For nothing. He's telling them, these systems of power, production, generation, transmission, and distribution is designed to stay on, not off. Because it's on, only increases the wear and tear on the equipment, including the small generators from Wasilla that has proven to be the albatross around Paul Knight and Albert Bryan neck. Because they wanted to fool people like me that 6 and 7 megawatt units, and a megawatt is a million watts, could replace Westinghouse and GE 25 and 35 megawatt warehouses. It will not, it cannot, never, ever. So we better put on we pants to be in the dark for a long time to come. I don't know what it is with us West Islanders that we are afraid because this body is Sarah's son and he's my cousin, any friend that a child, that you praise them. Yes. Up to and including the caller that call and ask you about you think the federal government should take over. She said the government is the best governor ever. Again, my grandchildren had a cost me, Mario, the cost you are going back to my yard, stick and miss like rule. So I don't know what measurement it is they're using to fall best. I wrote the governor not too long ago, and I said to him that this talk show host is labeling you as the best governor the islands ever had. And I asked him, that's how. He asked me what I mean. That's how. Is that you have built my home? No. Hospitals? No. Hospitals? No. Roads? No. So what are you best at, sir? He couldn't answer. He figured, they just see me as a rabble rouser and a troublemaker. These are hard questions. And that same call I told you about what you call it, the meeting, not talk show, what you call it, town hall meeting. Which government leader will want to hold town hall meeting for people to pose hard questions at them? You're mad. We like it so, Mario. And with that, I gone again. And that we hate one another too long. It's not about me. It's about what I can produce.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mario. How are you?
Trying my best to be well, but it ain't easier. Too many problems, they conflated, to make like we having a hurricane, Melissa, Emerson between, federal government shut down and well, I hope that whatever unfolds in Venezuela and Trinidad and Cuba and whatnot doesn't affect us, but it doesn't affect us because all you have to do is pass by the military installation is supposed to be a national guard place. You say they're more personal laid down than they've ever been. So I don't know what's going on with this one, but it is no news that I could call good news.
Well, in my research on the war, when I got out of the military, and I always wondered why they didn't go to war. And in my research, Mario, it told me, and I found, that when a country runs a large deficit to go to war, and I've said it before on the station here, and unfortunately, we're on that path for a while now. We've been going to wars for a long time now. We're creating some of these wars because we have to pay back the debt to who? If you study who do you pay this debt back to, and you will understand the system of a banking institution, of central banks, world banks, and who gives you that debt, who creates that debt out of Israel. So it's for the people to do their own research, Mario. But I was telling more about Trump and the government. You remember, it was all the local states that took him to court, not the federal government, just the local court. And you have to understand in history, we have the Civil War. You have the Confederacy on one side, and you have the federal government on the other side. It's no different than when you get paid, you pay local tax, you pay federal tax. And then that money and funding have to go to that system, whether you're paying local tax, federal tax. So if you shut off the water faucet of the federal side, all the local states have to spend that money, and all the local communities or not or unincorporated territories have to spend their money. And a lot of money was already given from the federal government many times every year. So it's on them to want to spend that money back to the community and do for their community. So our governor should be having some type of program willing to spend the local money because they got a lot of money and get some slush fund money out of water that disappeared that even the feds can find some of those accounts that was flushed down the drain to get them to feed the local community and the people. That is my main thing there. That the state, what they did to Trump, because of the federal funds, to force those states to spend their money because they all got bailed out under 2008 to where we are today. They've got a lot of funds, roads and bridges many times, and they have to spend that money, Mario. So
I hear you.
this money is available in every state. They have to be willing to give back to the community. And that's just another way of Trump trying to get some of that money too. So,
all right.
I will leave on that note.
And we certainly appreciate your analysis. All right, give thanks. All right.
Yeah.
And beloved, with that, we're at the top of the hour. So we say again, lick your cream. CUFC, beloved, because after ice cream is just so good for your soul. Beloved, and yes, we are now headed to that time where I could say in Spanish you say 3.5. In Danish, they don't say 3.5. But in English, we don't say 3:30 or 3:30. That, beloved, is when beautiful Aisha has set the stage. And as I have been instructed by her, I come up with a crucial history question. You come up with the answer, and then beautiful Aisha compliments you with a full quart of your favorite flavor of Amsam ice cream. And that is what we say. Beloved, you can't beat that. Let me see now where we are. Oh, I know. Just before the last car that came, we were trying to understand why it is that the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, what's her name? Kamala Bissessa, she's of Indian background. Why it is that she is so, well, in tune with President Trump, because she has, as Prime Minister, taken Trinidad and Tobago basically away from CARICOM to embrace Trump and his so-called war on drugs. And he uses the kind of terminology while he's talking about killing them all. You don't need to have no evidence, you need to have no due process. Peculiarly, Prime Minister Bissessa, she's saying the same thing. All the drug dealers need to be killed. Kill them all. They say more in an episode. But beloved, this is what is happening. And the last thing I understood only this morning is they're saying that Venezuela and the president, Nicolas Maduro, he is saying that if the United States attacks Venezuela, he is going to take it out on Trinidad and Tobago, because as of this morning, they're saying that the United States naval warships are docking. Yes, they are docking in Trinidad. Before we know that. Good afternoon. Welcome, welcome.
What a geopolitics we dealing with.
Well, we need your analysis, sir. We need to hear from you, because this is your kind of thing, you know.
I just have laughed and confused because the rest of the people together. Well, again, it's like what Amdala said, you know, the United States is accustomed to doing these things, and you're talking about the Trinidad Prime Minister. There is a company in Florida, you know how the United States will use these civilian companies, these civilian contractor companies, military, private military.
Well, the most infamous one is Blackwater.
Yeah. We got another one, but I forget the name right now. Like the young lady that died, she said, if I know I'm from Manana, I would have got a little bit more ready. But the thing is,
I forget the name right now, but there is one of them.
Uh,
And that private contractor is working with getting into or making sure they get into Venezuela. As an interview I had on 60 Minutes there recently, where I forget the name of the individual, but the white individual, brother, senator, one of them, Bishop, under the Trump administration. They said the call with Maduro, one of the worst forcing them around. He said he's been indicted, use his military to oppress people and jail them. And he's the worst of the worst. And then they also said not only is the oil reserve one of the biggest in the world, the biggest, they say you got natural resources that the rest of the world can benefit from. That is as a blatant and as direct a statement on 60 Minutes as to what it is they invading Venezuela.
right. They call it a war on drugs, but I mean, anybody with a little bit of common sense could say this is what's the other terminology? Regime change. Regime change.
Say it again?
Regime change.
Oh, yes. Of course, they don't tell you the regime change, but as you just stated, look at the individual who is the opposition. Anytime there is regime change, they always support an opposition.
Right.
And the opposition is always on the side of America and American interests
Right.
for themselves and their family. So, throughout, when I think it was Chavez was I think the leader at one time,
Yeah.
he now passed, and they have been trying to get in to deal with the oil situation and the other mineral situation for some time. But now, here it is, you are saying the fleet of military ships. And I don't know if you ever see some of the preparation that the Venezuelans themselves are making by the step on top. Man with gray beard, gray mustache, and half a helmet on, and he know how to shoot properly, and nothing like that. So they're going to send Venezuela.
Yeah.
Like, come on now. I have to say that I don't understand, of course, that is what you have to understand the country.
All right.
But there is almost no way for this leader to go, especially when you have a president of the United States who is saying openly in the public and the TV regarding that he wants the dead corpse. And he dead corpse of Maduro in U.S. custody. Dead corpse of Maduro in U.S. custody.
Are you?
And you think Maduro could have said anything like that about Trump?
No way.
If he had said something like that about it, the whole thing that can then again it's gathered. And this is what I can't understand with America, but at the same time, they understand that is the history.
Yeah.
Like, he is saying the dead corpse of this man, and then authorizing unilaterally authorizing the CIA to go in Venezuela and operate in a sovereign country.
Imagine that now.
I mean, come on, look at that.
Well, again, the other element that I want to hear you expound on it is that from the little that I get to read, Russia and China are not simply standing by. They seem to indicate that hey, they are prepared to support Maduro and Venezuela.
That is what I was trying to look to bottom next. Because they need to step up and actually show military support for Venezuela if they are equally benefiting from the natural resources, the oil, from Venezuela.
Right.
Unless they want the United States to take it over completely.
Right.
Or maybe that's the real reason why the flotilla and all them military ships there in sort of a demonstration of force because they may be anticipating support for Russia, from Russia and China. But again, the question is how far those two countries are willing to engage in that region of the world,
Right.
and stop the hegemony of the United States against a sovereign country of Venezuela. Definitely Venezuela can't go to the UN. Can't go there. It's almost no place this country could go for any help. You can't go to Caracas. But I don't describe it how Trinidad agreeing with almost everything Trump said, whether it's Trinidad, Grenada, all of them, they don't acquiesce. They don't even want the United States to damage them, whether it's sanction them or threaten them militarily wise.
Well, they're pretty much like us, you know, whether it be Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, but almost totally dependent on the United States.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why they refer to us as the backyard.
And the United States has made this happen, meaning dependence for generations.
Right.
It's not a new thing that's happening. But
No,
of course,
but they want to keep it that way. So, like, first it was Cuba. That's why it is half a century now that they try their best to get Cuba to submit, and Cuba will not, you know. And now here is Venezuela, you know, because the United States mean that everybody in them supposed to realize that they are in the backyard of the United States and you're supposed to behave accordingly.
so where their backyard go from the East Coast all the way around the world back to the West Coast, that's the backyard.
Hey,
So I mean any place in the world is their backyard as long as they go send beat two Bahamas or
barbecue.
Huh?
Don't forget, you know, it is President Trump saying that Canada should be the 51st state.
Well, again, let you say what you want, and let them see Canada will acquiesce to. But the point of the matter is, the world. Now, everyone said, I want to say the world needs to wake up, but I think the world is in a true hole that we can't get out of right now. And whether we see the geopolitics in the Middle East with Israel, blatant support by the United States and the EU countries, as well as you see what's going on here in the Caribbean, where now the U.S. military is in the Caribbean, occupying the Caribbean, threatening almost every, not almost, all Caribbean countries. And one of the downsides of it is you got fishermen in from Trinidad, probably and other neighboring Caribbean, afraid to go out in their boat for their livelihood.
Of course.
Because the United States could bomb their boats, kill their people, and there is no recourse.
None.
Recently,
So the total impunity, total impunity.
Where you hear bodies have floated up, whether it is, I can't remember the element, maybe if I began it wrong, somebody could correct me. Trinidad and then place bodies float up from them bombing, and no one is held accountable. The pilot who bombed them in the held accountable. The president, the administration, the U.S. citizens that supporting this thing indirectly or directly, no, as you said, totally. And this is global. And wherever place they go, they got totally unity. They go in Africa, they kill Africans. They go going on right now in Sudan with the UAE and the support behind the United States is behind that, supporting them and murdering people in Sudan. And that continue to go on without it. The question is everybody trying to figure out where can we turn to get help from this terrorist nation, the United States of America.
Well, when you talk about ways to turn to get help, Brother Q, where do you turn to get help in 3 days when November 1st come
Yes.
and there are no supplemental nutrition assistance program that we call food stamps? Not to mention, you know, all the other programs that are totally dependent on the federal government. That I mean, it's like a month now, and I was saying a little earlier that it seems very possible, maybe even probable that we're going to go through the month of November with the government shutdown. And when Mr. Williams calling a little earlier talking about meals and wheels and all of the programs that disabled community depend on, all of these things are how they are dependent on the federal government. And again, it doesn't seem like this shutdown is going to be over anytime soon, Mr.
Well, no, it doesn't, because again, if you order the project 2025, right?
Yes, of course.
We
That's from before even won the election.
so again, I didn't hear that.
Before Trump even won the election.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, they implementing that there swiftly. One I can't remember the lady name, her name has come to me. She said it almost if not 80 something, 90 something percent already intact.
Yeah.
And the thing of it is the world is witnessing fascism in their face.
Yeah.
And everybody that's sitting down with a mouth open because they say, well, we didn't know America was like this. America was like that all the doggone time. It's just that they had some opposition leaders like the ones in Cuba, Venezuela, some of them in the Middle East, and different places that were willing to oppose them, because even one of the charges that the United States, or one of the reality is that Venezuela has always used to be supporting revolutionary liberation entities globally, and Cuba.
Yeah.
So that is one of the things they wanted to eliminate support for liberation forces around the world, including the one at one time where I think Mandela was part of that support.
Yes.
So,
No. It definitely was. Yes.
yeah. So they have always been wanting to cut out, stop liberation activities around the world. So
Yeah.
the thing of it is now it's like they're succeeding, because a lot of the ones have died out, the elder ones them have died out, and now the replacement leaderships don't seem to have the guidance for women to want to stand up to the bully, the Greville, orangutan bully, and his administration. It seems like the only leaders in the Caribbean that are standing up are the female prime ministers who are, and then even the female leadership in South Africa, for example, who's standing up to speak out and say, no, we can't go along like this, and we have to change. But this is a battle, a hill we don't have playing here. And most, I don't want to say this disrespectfully, but it's most that we have to go through this because we've been sleeping too long. We went through a lot to sleep.
Well,
And we all from the 60s and the 50s when the revolutionary movement and so on coming up.
yeah.
Of course, the mechanism are kind of lies about those revolutionary organizations and movements, to the point where, they just what they're doing now. They don't have to tell the truth to invade a country. All they got to do is fabricate a lie.
Right.
And that makes you know that they're in your country. How dare them want to say, but they want to CIA operate in an individual country and say that he's a drug trafficker. No evidence whatsoever, and just go ahead and look to assassinate the man without any due process. So
again, this is the world we live in, we love it, and you would want to know what our leaders doing, what they're doing. Some of them ain't gonna take them. Some of them
Right.
are coerced by force. You think when we talking on the radio that anything, when they're behind closed door, we think that white man of the same to them. If Trump will say Maduro don't want to mess with America in public, when they're behind closed door and Mike in there, what do you think of that?
I hear you, but I just wonder before we go because I'm looking at the bottom of the hour here, but there is, yes, this Prime Minister that Bisasa, she is, right in Trump, when she loved Trump. But I want to point out, when you spoke about the females, that there is one out of Barbados,
Yeah,
Matley.
yeah.
She ain't taking them out with this.
That's the name of a change, remember?
Matley let you know what they call it. It says from Eric Williams' time in Trinidad. The Caribbean is supposed to be a zone of peace. And that's how I stand. I ain't in this here with, with your attack, she didn't call her name. But from what I saw on YouTube, that, she's referring to the same disaster in Trinidad.
Yeah.
There's a crazy woman.
Well, hey, that's the thing, son. Hey, it's sad to say, only people in that see the stand up right now, and they're just because it's a female. But other than the United Nations and it's speaking in the assembly, or in the country itself and it's speaking. The men look like they don't bow and go. So, we don't know where the direction, as you said, from one month to the next. But again, like I said,
I just wanted us to know, and that, I guess to your voice, that in 3 days, when November 1st comes and no food stamps, that's another level of anxiety, that we are going to reach to him because whatever the local government with the prior administration with the 36th legislature back and forth, what they're talking about, is how best to put it, but sometime during the month of November to be able to send out some checks to them and those who needed the SNAP and didn't get it. Now, I don't know when they're talking about. Is it a week from Saturday? 2 weeks? Sometime in month of November. And how much will it be? Like I had a caller just before you speaking to, he said hey, he is trying to reassure the Arab merchants that, hey, you ain't gonna go bankrupt because we got to make sure that we put a pittance, in the people's hand to come and buy from you. So I said, I don't know, but again, I don't have any assurance that there won't be a higher level of stress because I don't see any change happening between now and Saturday. I don't see it.
Well, it just goes to show you, beloved. We got black faces in political office that are simply controlled by white faces behind the red white house.
I heard that.
That is our dilemma as a race. And this is why whenever we talk about self-determination, we have to keep that in mind because we're going to always be. As long as we don't deal with self-determination, under the toe, the foot of an
Yeah.
oppressor. And I don't know people who like to live under them conditions, but not everybody. Anyway, thank you for your time, beloved.
Thank you for the the analysis. Let me look at it that way. Thank you. Take care of yourself. Stay strong.
Yeah.
And with that, beloved, we are ready to take our final break to come back where beautiful Aisha will be center stage with our Crucian history question. So lick your cream, because Ramcham ice cream is just so good for your soul. Okay, I'm confused with this question. We're back, beloved, and we are ready if you are ready. That is for our Crucian history question. Okay, so you're ready. Maybe we could take this to ease up a little bit and all the stress we've been taking and hope we could get a little relief. No big thing, but a little relief as we entertain ourselves here with the Crucian history question. And it goes like this, beloved. According to our record in history, the first Europeans, the first white people to settle on this 84 square mile island we call St. Croix was in the year 1625. That's right, 1625. Beloved, you don't need no trigonometry. You don't need no calculus. You don't need no great knowledge of mathematics to be able to subtract 1625 from 2025. And you will come up with that big round number, 400. So yes, it has been 400 years since Europeans have colonized this 84 square mile island we call St. Croix. Now, what we want to know from you is what institution, what country, however you want to view it, had the biggest impact, the greatest impact in this 400-year period that runs from 1625, when the Dutch settled and formed a colony right here on St. Croix. That, matter of fact, this radio station was established in Fort Louis, Augusta, for quite a few years. And Fort Louis, Augusta was the Dutch fort that those people way back in 1625 had built as their fort, Fort Louis, Augusta. Beloved, the Danes established themselves on this island of St. Croix in 1735. A lot of people will answer, no, Mario, it was 1733. Well, 1733 is when they signed the contract, and they were supposed to take over in that December of 1733. But in November of 1733, there was a thing called the Rebellion of St. John. And that is why it wasn't until 1735 that the Danes actually took over the island of St. Croix from the French. And from 1735 to 1917, when the Danish West Indies was sold to the United States of America, that means that the Danes held St. Croix as a colony for 182 years. 182. So that's 182 years out of the 400 years that white people have colonized this island we know as St. Croix. In 1917, when the Danish West Indies became the Virgin Islands of the United States, beloved, from 1917 to 2025 is 108 years. 108 years. Beloved, I need for you to tell me what lasted longer than that 108 years. What lasted longer than the 182 years that the Danes occupied St. Croix? I would like to know if there was ever anything on the island of St. Croix that exceeded the Danish 182 years, and of course, the 108 years from the Americans. There are them and those who would say, Marilla's an easy one. But unfortunately, a lot of people, they miss out on it. Have you ever heard of chattel enslavement? Chattel enslavement. Beloved, that is the question we're asking you. In the 400 years where white people have been colonizing this island of 84 square miles that we call St. Croix, tell me, how many years out of those 400 of chattel enslavement? How many of those 400 years were chattel enslavement? It sounds like a big question, but an easy one. You're supposed to know. You're supposed to know, beloved. You're supposed to know because, again, we live here. This is our island. Good afternoon to you. Tell me the answer.
Again, it's horrible, but I'm gonna try my best. I guess to know the amount of years of the chattel enslavement
will be, I would say, 120 years.
120 years.
Yeah.
Beloved, how did that sound to you? 120 years. Wheel and come again. Good afternoon to you. How many years out of that? It's been 400 years that white people have colonized this 84 square miles that we know of St. Croix. And I am saying to you that we had chattel enslavement here.
Right.
And I'm asking you to tell me, how many years did we have it out of the 400 that has passed from 1625 when the Dutch first settled here at St. Croix?
Okay, I would say about 173.
You would say about 173. That means that you're guessing because you said about. And I am saying to you, you see, this is one of them questions where I got to embarrass you. I get to embarrass my beloved audience here because I said, this is our island.
Right.
And you mean to tell me you don't even know how long they had our ancestors in slavery here on this island?
I'm going to do the math again. Okay, I'm going to come back for
Wheel and come again.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
Good afternoon. I am looking for a number. Help me out here. How long did they have us, or will have our ancestors in chattel enslavement out of the 400 years that they have colonized this island?
Well, the British took the cake that they had it the longest around the world. The British created all the problems, but I'll say with us, it was 223.
223. That's the number you've given us?
Yes.
I'm asking if I got it right.
Yes, Mario.
223. All right. Okay. Well, I could say right back to you, wheel and come again. And I am pointing my finger at you all and saying, hey, you know, this is something we're supposed to know. Supposed to be right at the front of our mind. If 400 years has passed since white people first colonized this island called St. Croix in 1625. That was the year the Dutch was coming. 1625. That's 400 years ago. So it's been 400 years that this island has been colonized. I am asking you, out of those 400 years, how many were our ancestors in chattel enslavement? Help me out, tell me.
Yeah, Mario.
I'm listening to you.
344.
344. Wheel and come again. Beloved, you're embarrassing me, you know, and embarrassing yourself. Good afternoon. Help me out. I tell you, you don't have to be a mathematician to answer this one.
Okay, I gonna go with 300 and 300
are 300 out of the 400 years. Well, listen, that means that the Americans had we in chattel slavery too. We that come again, man. Is that why you're embarrassing? Embarrassing me, man. Come back. Beloved, this is what we have allowed those good for nothing misleaders to do to us. And we're still in court. We're still trying to get them to teach history to our children. Good afternoon to you. How many years did our ancestors spend in chattel enslavement?
245.
245. 245. Usually, to this voice, I'll say, you got it. But today, I got you. Wheel and come again. Good afternoon to you.
Okay, I think I get no.
All right.
230 years.
230.
0. Yeah.
230. Wheel and come again. No, you ain't got it yet.
Let me jump in a second, okay?
Somebody online there? Hello?
Yeah. 218 years.
218. 218. Wheel and come again. Good afternoon to you. What is the number? How many years? How much? Say that again. 234.
244.
Or 244. That's what I thought. 244. Wheel and come again. What a thing, yeah, boy. What a thing. Huh? Good afternoon. What is that number?
246.
246. Wheel and come again. Beloved, let me explain the best way I can to you. In the year 1625, 1625, the Danes, I'm so sorry, I get confused myself on that. In the year 1625, the Dutch, the people in the Netherlands and Holland, those people were the first to settle St. Croix. Before that, there are kind of different, narratives, different story about this group of Indians, Arawak, this Carib, that Taínos, that kind of thing. But recorded history from the same white people tell us that it was in the year 1625 that the Dutch people first settled on this island of St. Croix. And I give you as an example that this radio station, WSTX, used to be located for many years in Fort Louis, Augusta. Fort Louis, Augusta, beloved, was the fort those same Dutch people who came in 1625, they built. All right? Now then, from 1625 to 2025 is exactly 400 years. Good you. I have said to you, to help you out, that the Danes actually colonized St. Croix from 1735 to 1917. That's the period when St. Croix was the big island of the Danish West Indies. That is a period of 182. 182 years when St. Croix was the big island of the Danish West Indies. In 1917, we went from being the big island of the Danish West Indies to being the big island of the unincorporated territory of the Virgin Islands of the United States of America. And that is from 1917 to 2025 today. That's 108 years, 108. So I am asking you now to tell me the period of time in that 400 years when white people had our ancestors in chattel enslavement. And I am being very embarrassed that we don't have an answer to that, because it is something we're supposed to know. Okay? Let me go to you. Good afternoon. What is your number?
115.
115. May I say it in Spanish? Because I don't know how else to say. Wheel and come again. Good afternoon to you. What is the number? What is the number?
Okay, I can't redeem myself, Mario.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's 215 years, 215.
215. Well, you're going to have to wheel and come again to redeem yourself. Can you redeem yourself yet? You're still embarrassing me.
Okay, Mario.
All right. Good afternoon.
Yes, Mario. I got it. 219.
219. 219.
290.
No, 290. 19. I'm 1990. You know, but still, I get a chance, and I don't have to get a chance to say it in this voice, you know. Will I come again? Beloved, what a thing, yeah? Look at us, no man. Look at us. Intelligent people. And we have allowed our good for not mislead us to keep us so ignorant about our own history that we don't know how many years white people had our ancestors in chattel enslavement right here on this island. Help me out. Give me the number.
223.
223. Wheel and come again. I am looking for the number
263.
263. Wheel and come again. And now, beloved, because we are getting close to that number where beautiful Aisha will have a talking to me and she says, Mario, we're not supposed to party for a crack hour. So give them a clue. Give them a clue. Beloved, the clue I am going to give you is that it is 200, but less than 210. Now tell me that you still don't know. It is more than 200, but less than 210. So it is between 200 and 210. Lord Harry the judge. What more of a clue could I give to you? Tell me now, what's the number?
204, Mario.
There you go.
204.
204. Now, what was so hard about that, eh? From 1644, when they brought us here, to 1848, when Bodo and General Bodo and Admiral Martin King said July 3rd, 1848, that was a period of 204 years.
Yeah, Mario. I know for a fact, right, that the last number has to be a 4.
But again, but all of us, how many times I have said here that they brought us all ancestors here in 1644.
Yeah, but you throw a red herring in the thing when you say the people that come what year they come? 60 what? When they start
What?
colonizing the Virgin Islands?
1625.
Yeah, but it was 1625 when they brought the fourth slave ship them to.
No, it was 16. No, it's after they come 1644.
Yeah, I know that for a fact.
Well, that's what I said. The thing, no big thing, no trigonometry. I can't cross or nothing. You mean to tell me that, the difference between 1625 and 1644 confuse you so? Stop it, man. Stop it. But anyhow, you're the winner. Announce it so everybody know. Give me the full name again.
I'm a Purong, a friend of mine, Horace Crichton.
Horace.
Yeah, Horace Crichton.
Wait. Spell that one. C-R.
C-R-E-I-G-H-T-O-N.
C-R. Wait. So C-R what?
C-R-E-I-G-H-T-O-N.
Okay. Horace Creighton, and he would know what they call it, what flavor that he want to deal with. But again, but I still have to give you a talking too because you should have known better. You should have known better. And this is thing here that Mario does hold, as sacred. You're supposed to know how long they had our ancestors in that it takes 204 years for us to fight out of that. We have talked about that before.
48, 34.
Thank you.
Yeah. Really.
You know what I mean? But anyhow, I still get to congratulate you because you're the one. But I thought you would have given me the answer so long time ago. So. But again, congratulations. And I hope that Horace Creighton, he will give you the respect, so, that you pull it up every time. And again, beloved, the point is, and that's why I was getting so upset, is that, beloved, I mean, if there's anything about our history as a people that we are supposed to know, because that's supposed to be boiling in our guts to give us the ambition to do better, to have inside out cultivation, to do things to help ourselves. They had us in, Lord, I read the judgment. Like property. That's what it was. Property. They dehumanize us, totally take away our humanity. We want to be human beings for 204 years. You understand? Well, I am now making sure that all my beloved listening, that I don't get that born in your brains. 204 years our ancestors went through. 204 years. No, I can tell you with all respect, congratulations. Even though it takes a long time, but you are the one I figured would have been a winner today. Congratulations again. And uh, I could say Aisha smiling now because she don't recognize your voice, you know.
Yeah, man.
And she says she keep telling me how you and she go back from way back from when I walk out the place and things, but I don't know how background and so forth. So I should she's smiling now to know that hey, you're the winner one more time. So congratulations, eh?
All right, thank you, Mario.
All the best, man. All the best.
Yeah.
And with that, beloved, we say it is time to lick your cream because Upson ice cream is just so good for your soul. We're back, beloved. And for the last time this Tuesday, this is last lap, beloved. And we are completely open available for you to have your last lick in the last lap. And beloved, we can say, well, the crucial history question definitely proved itself to be a break from all the stressful information that we were dealing with. Uh, well, since we come out, because we started out with a plea to all the beloved that, like we said, and we're saying it again, beloved, if you believe in the power of prayer, pray for the people in Jamaica. Good afternoon to you.
Yes,
Welcome, man.
you
Welcome.
mentioned a couple of times that your daughter went to school in Cameroon.
Yes,
Um,
yes, spent a year in
it
school
was
in
a good
Cameroon.
experience, I think.
Pardon me?
Just talk to me. Why? What was it like?
What? Well, she had an aunt. You know, we had an aunt that was doing some PhD research in with well, just call it Biancele. And this is in pretty much in the northern Cameroon, everything where elephants and all and these kind of thing and so forth, and blah, blah, blah. And we, had conversation with her. Seriously, she was, what, it was 12, yes, it was 12 years old. Uh, and we like, hey, blah, 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 blah. And if you spoke to her now, you would know, well, like, yeah, she was some of the thing. But we had a big issue is that uh, there was one king of a tribe that wanted to make her one of his wives. And
Oh,
that
wow.
that turned out to be quite an issue because many of the people that had thought I was Bob Marley. See, because all right, yes, this is how remote it was, you know, and because at the lapse and at the time I had allowed my beard, dreadlock stuff, and so that I was quite a phenomenon to them in this area, and they refer to Bamali, Bamali, kids play, following me around and all this kind of thing. Uh, and so that, matter of fact, this is the appeal, that, well, kept it being a peaceful, amicable thing rather than, you know, uh, well, we didn't allow for amicus to raise to any level where it could be more difficult than it already was, that to really did and threaten violence and nothing like that. But it was really tricky, and we in the evening when we'd be alone, we talk about ourselves. I couldn't believe that a lot of it was amusing, and it's just
Yeah,
simply because of the difference between their mentality and ours,
yeah,
their
yeah,
perspective and our perspective, and not to mention, the difference in the cultural aspects of similar, like matrimony and things like this. And so it was, well, she will never forget it,
yeah.
I
How was the
mean,
school?
she spent a
How was the
year.
school? How was the school in there? Did it differ from the U.S. Significantly?
Yes, it's significantly different, but much, much appreciated because, again, uh, it was like how I remembered more of our schooling here as a youngster in the 1940s, where it was more intimate and the teachers were more concerned about you really understanding things and learning so that, you could raise your hand in the class and ask this you know, uh, and it didn't become an issue because everybody else in the classroom, was also disciplined enough to understand, yeah. And so that I guess that's about the best thing I can say was just more intimate and familiar than the structured classroom that we have today, where the teachers spend more time, trying to discipline the students than to teach them. You know,
Right. Right.
no, discipline was never a problem. Everybody knew why they were there, what school was about, what learning was, and issues, and talk on her because her perspective on things would like to fascinate a whole lot of them, like their perspective fascinated her, and
Right.
but it was yeah, really something. But yes, way up in what would be that would have been the northwestern Cameroon. That was still several hundred miles away from the border of Nigeria.
Mm. Mm.
But
Okay.
yes, very, 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 very interesting. It's something that uh, I will always regret, and well, all of us, the whole family, all of us are glad that we took it on.
Right. Right. And then you were there for like a year or so.
1 year, 1 year, yeah, 1 year.
Okay. Yeah, just a thought came to me that you mentioned a couple of times, but I
Yeah.
wasn't sure what was what.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
No, but no, wait, don't understand. I did not spend the whole year there. I went and
Right.
came back. Yeah, I
Yeah,
went
your
and back
daughter,
on.
but
Yeah,
you, yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon. I'm welcoming you. We last night.
Good afternoon, Mr. Moore. And how are you doing today?
We are health-wise we are the best, but a lot of stress because of number one, the biggest hurricane in history attacking Jamaica as we speak, and we are in every opportunity we say, if you believe in prayer, pray for the people of Jamaica because this Melissa meteorologists are saying it is the biggest, most powerful hurricane in history. Imagine that. And then we also have the matter of come Saturday, with the 1st of November, and it seems like we are definitely going to be the first of the month without food stamps.
Yeah.
And that the problems of the government, the federal government being shut down, persist, and it seems like well, no ease up on that one in the near future. And then there was the other issue. Oh yes, then the threat of military
Military build up.
down in Venezuela, Trinidad, and I don't know what else could happen this one. But yes, a lot of issues, a lot of issues.
Mr. Moore?
Please.
Well, after just checking with Richie Torres as I reside in the 15th Congressional District here in the Bronx,
Yeah.
and as a Social Security recipient, my concern was that with the federal government shut down and Social Security being a federal entity,
Yeah.
would there be a delay in the disbursement for November benefits? And I was told no. So your Social Security, whether you're a retiree or disabled like myself, your benefits should be coming like clockwork. So
Very good.
with all the
Is it Richie Torres on the conservative side?
Can you repeat that? I didn't hear that.
Is it your representative Richie Torres on the conservative side?
I would say, yeah. I don't think he's a moderate. even though he's a Democrat, they think he's a little conservative. So you're correct about
Okay.
that, Mr. Moore. One of the things, seeing as you're talking about SNAP benefits which are dispersed on the first of each month, well, I with the federal just going into a full month now of the federal government lockdown, a couple of weeks ago, I said, well, let me call. I have family members who receive SNAP benefits. I called my cousin's wife. She said she had no idea. So I called Human Services. Human Services said they sent out an email to all the SNAP recipients. The only thing is, not everybody has an email, not everybody has a phone. I
Right.
recommend to them that, especially maybe what they need to do, especially in the Virgin Islands, is go to the radio and go to the newspapers. Those are true form of media platforms that you could use, that you'll get more coverage than just sending out emails.
Right.
The other thing is, why did we, I guess we're waiting for, I think it's tomorrow, there's a committee on the whole, and then there's some sort of another hearing on Thursday. And I was told that they're talking about some rainy day fund where they will, if possible, give the recipients half of what they normally receive. So if you normally receive 500, you'll be getting 250
Are you talking about our local government here?
from the local government.
Yeah. Well, yes, everything that you said is pretty much what we hear it. What we do not have any explicit information about is when. In other words, is this something that's going to happen a week from the first 2 weeks? It's a big be the middle of the month, it'll be towards the end of the month. When?
Well, I just called my classmate, Senate President Milton Potter,
Yeah.
and his staff told me, as I was talking to them about an hour ago, that he was meeting with the governor, the lieutenant governor, to discuss the particulars. So I am going to go up my phone tomorrow on the JIT TV, that's the legislative TV, and look at the hearing and monitor it from my cousin. But Mr. Moore didn't know about this a couple weeks ago.
Absolutely.
So why didn't we put this, the plan, whatever we're trying to put into effect now, we should have done that weeks ago. Because if you're telling me you're going to have to print the checks, mail out the checks,
Yeah.
and with the mail in the Virgin Islands, people correct me if I'm wrong, they still have to go to Puerto Rico to
Yes, we have real
sort it,
snail.
to be
We have,
sorted, and then come back to the Virgin Islands to be dispersed.
as my grandchild would say, we have snail mail.
So instead of electronic mail that goes as you press send,
Right.
we get snail mail.
Right.
Well, for me, we got back to the studio, we got back for the podium.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
But, one of the other things I asked about, and I left this question, I don't know if you recall, I want to say it could have been maybe a year ago, or a little over a year ago, when former Commissioner of Finance, Ms. Bruce, at a legislative hearing, testifying, and she was asked about $225 million that was taken out of the Bank of the Virgin Islands and sent here to New York to be placed in JP Morgan Chase in a money market account. Mr. Moore, I inquired about $225 million. I mean, with all the interest, even if the money was gotten during what is called state of emergency.
Yeah.
And correct me, during a state of emergency, the money goes to the executive branch and not the legislative branch, which is the purse strings of the
Correct.
government.
Yes. Yes.
Good. But once the money is placed in a financial institution and it compiles interest, that interest now belongs to the people. And the people's purse is managed by the first branch of government.
Yes.
So they should have an account as to where this money is, how much money is there, what's the accumulated interest.
Well, that's the conditional phrase. They should they should.
Yeah.
But again, the mere fact that we're 3 days away and we still have so many questions tells you that they shouldn't.
Correct. So, and when you keep calling, like Dave, and people keep saying, "Well, you call us misleaders." That's what they're doing. They're misleading. If they were true leaders, they would already had this
Thank you.
done,
Thank you.
and we wouldn't be worrying and
Thank
waiting
you.
and being concerned 3 days out
And
that we're
that's
going to
right.
be able to feed our family,
Thank
the
you.
children, the elderly.
And again, it's like everything and everybody else. You need to be able to plan. And that is what you have, left a tremendous devoid in the Virgin Islands. Because as of Saturday, when there is no SNAP, people don't know how to plan. They don't know if they have to deal with this for a week, for 10 days, for 2 weeks. To the end of the month, they have no idea. And, and they should have known this. That's what they said. They should
I
have.
don't want to say you told them so, but you told them about inside-out cultivation. And Mr. Moore, if we were doing inside-out cultivation and not say our agriculture department is a hobby, then maybe we should have had the ability to be able.
As we try to tell them,
feed ourselves.
Let's start out. We could just do like chicken and eggs, simple little things like that.
That's simple.
But can we make ourselves totally independent of eggs? Why do we still have to import eggs to the Virgin Islands? Why? Eggs!
Mr. Boy,
It's just eggs.
that was ready. December 2022. And the last time I was doing emancipation, I see I can afford running around.
Thank you. Thank you.
So,
Well, you are the last word because I'm down to the last 3 minutes here and I got a collar holding
I
on.
just wanted to just second what you were saying. That we could have an egg farm. And that would take one of the worries off our plate. And on that note, Mr. Moore, I will put a pin in it and leave it there. And hopefully,
Thank you. Thank you.
God said next Tuesday, we could say, well, the check them went out Monday, or the check them going out today, or they going out tomorrow. So on that note, we take care, get home safe, and we pray.
As always, Mr. Grant, you've always been very informative. And I thank you for being as formative as you always is. Thank you.
The only thing I wish Mr. Moore I could get some ice cream set up there tonight and again tomorrow. I'm trying. Lick your cream. And on that note, have a good afternoon.
Good afternoon already. Good. Oh, I thought. Well, beloved, we have come full swing around to our last lap. And beloved, we can only hope and pray for the people in Jamaica as we hope and pray for our fellow men and women and Pitney and everybody else right here in the Virgin Islands as the first day of the month approaches and there is no solution in sight as to what to expect, what will happen. We don't know. And with that, we say, beloved, lick your cream. Why? because that shot ice cream is just so good for your soul. And furthermore, when we encounter stressful times like we are experiencing, we got to remind ourselves, beloved, there is no such thing as a basket too big for us to pull up. I always remember 1-1, we could pull up that basket just as long as we do it. Get down.